morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I hope you're doing well. I decided to run a 5K for 30 days straight. I love running and I just wanted to put myself to the challenge. But before starting the challenge, I did not consider the fact that it is very hot.
Had more heat today?
Oh, yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Did I complete the challenge or did I buckle? Watch the video to find out. Nah, I'm kidding. I finished the challenge, but please still watch the video if you'd like. Day one. Week one was definitely the easiest. This is when I had the most motivation and the most energy. My first 5K was done in close to 31 minutes. I ran up until 2.5 miles and then walked the rest. And I failed to realize that a 5K is 3.1 miles and not 3 miles flat, but I still counted it. If you consider the walk to my car, it's basically 3.1. On day two, I PR'd, which is pretty obvious because there aren't that many run times to compare from. But I did PR by like 4 minutes, which I wasn't expecting. And that PR held on for a while. The rest of the week was smooth. On day 7, I ran with the Atlanta Run Club, which was pretty nice. It was nice being able to socialize and whatnot. And once again, throughout that entire week, I was motivated, full of energy. Up until day 7, my streak of completing a 5K in under 30 minutes had been broken. I chose to run in the middle of the afternoon and I did not consider how hot it is. I highly underestimated how much the sun can drain your energy. But on day 4, I ran in the middle of the afternoon and I was fine. But that was probably because my motivation was high. And by day 8, I was exhausted. And this is when the challenge really started because I did not want to do it anymore. On day 8, my body was confused. I've been consistently working out for a couple years now, but I'm always used to having at least one rest day. So working out again without a single rest day, it made my body be like, yo, what's going on? Where's my veg? Where's my time to veg out? Where's my time to relax? But I ran, I got up, I stretched the joints, and I hit the ground running. I will admit I was lacking in regard to the warm up and cool down stretch throughout the challenge. My time was limited in the morning since I work second shift, and by week 2 beyond, mentally all I wanted to do was get the run done. These are not excuses though. I highly encourage everyone to really prioritize warming up and cooling down after every workout in general. Anyways, the heat was only getting worse. Most of the time I typically ran anytime between 10 and 11 a.m. and by that point it was already pushing 90 with the sun beaming. So I had 2 options. One was to wake up early in the morning before the sun came up to run, or 2, run on the treadmill in the gym. Neither of which I wanted to do, but it was better than running in the heat. So I chose the treadmill option, which wasn't even that bad. Just running for an extended period of time on the treadmill is just a little boring for me. There were also a couple days that week and the other weeks that I did strength training, and I'll once again admit that I was lacking in the strength training department. To the people that run every day, how do you incorporate strength training into your routine? Please enlighten me. Because by the time I was done with those runs, I did not feel like doing anything else. I still did strength training, but it would just be very minimal, if anything. Anyways, that Saturday, closing off week 2, I had plans that day, so I knocked out a run early in the morning, which was pretty nice, being able to run while the sun was rising. That Sunday, it was pretty cloudy, thankfully, which made the run that day quite easy. And by this point, we were halfway done with the challenge. On day 15, I PR'd. My new record was 25 minutes and 33 seconds. Strava didn't count it because I ended the run at 3.1 flat rather than 3.10686. I didn't realize that the exact measurement for a 5K is 3.10686 until I had to look it up afterwards because I was wondering, why did Strava not count this as my fastest 5K? But I figured it out. It's so small of a detail that I don't think it's necessary to count any of my other runs as invalid. But that Wednesday, I PR'd in a way that Strava could count it because I ran 3.11 miles and I chipped off another 24 seconds when doing that. So, yippee. It's clear that my body was getting used to the runs. All of my runs that week were below 30 minutes, and the heat wasn't as unbearable. But to be fair, it was just cooler because it was like kind of a cloudy week, a mix of cloudy and sunny. I ran on the treadmill that Friday, did an arm workout. The day after that, I ran when it was getting dark, which was a bad idea because a bunch of bugs were flying around and flying in my face. So that was pretty annoying, and did a small leg workout after that. And the Sunday run was pretty smooth. And now we're on the week 4, the last full week. By this point, the runs were not difficult. It was just the getting out of bed part that was the hard part. There was a day I accidentally ran an extra half mile. Just like the previous weeks, I had a couple of strength training workouts and a couple of treadmill runs. And that Saturday, I ran with the Atlanta Run Club, which was a blast. The run was effortless, and it really made it feel as though all of this training I've been doing has been worth it in a way. Can't fully describe why, but it just felt full circle. I suppose feeling a sense of community when running reminded me of how much I love running. And day 29 was chill, nothing really to it. Day 30! Day 30! I'm gonna try to PR. I'm gonna try to PR today. I'm hyped. Let's do it. I finished and I PR'd. That was tough. But we're done. I did it! Ah! I am definitely going to have to lather my seats in baking soda because of all the sweat that is accumulated back there. Let me know. Let me know. May I have a sausage, egg, and cheese croissant with loaded hash browns? Thank you. Thank you. You too. I got my coffee at 7 Brew instead of Dunkin' because Dunkin' is super inconsistent. They get back to the crib. As I enjoyed my coffee and savored my accomplishment, there was one question that needed to be answered. What now? I enjoy running often, but I need workouts specifically reserved for strength training and workouts specifically reserved for running. So the plan now is to hit the gym to do muscle workouts 3 days a week and then run 3 days a week and then have one rest day. So working out a total of 6 days a week and then off 1 day. And here are my takeaways. For starters, I learned to not underestimate the sun. The sun and the heat made this challenge 10 times more difficult, especially with the lack of rest day. I was reminded of the importance of consistency, not relying strictly on motivation. I was reminded that going slow yet steady goes a long way, and that can really apply to life in general. And setting this intentional goal and holding myself accountable really helped boost my sense of self-confidence, self-respect, knowing who I am, and being present. So overall, the whole thing was worth it. But yeah, that was the challenge. If you enjoyed, do the things that YouTubers usually tell you to do. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever. Peace.